Brudiclad Telchor Engineer versus Olivia Mobilized for War. Yeah, Rakdos opponent that can deal with artifacts very easily, I imagine. We don't have red mana either. But we do have 2 lands and a mana rock. We will try it, but I don't feel good about it. Only because we're on the draw am I trying that. That will hopefully get us into a pretty fast... hopefully pretty soon we'll get into a fetch land, is what I'm trying to say. Olivia Mobilized for War is a 3 mana 3/3 flyer in Rakdos. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield... No, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, we'll go in for our Seat of the Synod, and we'll see if we want to go for Stubborn Denial. Well, our opponent has got down a Bitter Blossom with Dark Ritual, so that is immediately a problem for us. Really would have liked to counter that, although we couldn't have done thanks to Dark Ritual anyway. Imperial Seal. Yeah, they can pay for our Stubborn Denial here. So we'll just have to leave that. Olivia Mobilized for War is a 3 mana Rakdos commander, flying 3/3. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may discard a card. If you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste, and it becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. Brudiclad Telchor Engineer is a 6 mana Izzet commander, a 4/4 that gives our tokens haste. And at the beginning of combat on our turn, we get a 2/1 Mir token. Then we can choose a token we control, and all of our other tokens become a copy of it. We get into another red card, so we'll just have to go and ramp and hope that our opponent doesn't get down a 3 mana spell next turn, because opted not to go for holding up Stubborn Denial. Well, they've got Phyrexian Tower, so they can actually go for something much bigger if they want to. Yeah, Buried Alive. Well, we can maybe hold up Stubborn Denial for a Living Death or something like that. Yeah, I think we're a few turns away from... What has our opponent got? They've got Anger, Steel Hellkite and Grizzlebrand. I'll just have to hope that they don't have a reanimation effect in their hand already, and that they are just trying to go for Living Death, which they are hopefully a few turns away from. We'll go for Great Furnace here, and we will play that along with our Dragon Master Outcast, which is a few turns away from being activated. At the beginning of our upkeep, if we control 6 or more lands, we get a 5/5 dragon with flying. Alright, I'm hoping they're missing a land drop here. Yeah, they just go for Olivia. No, they're going for Wasteland. And they very kindly decide not to go for our coloured mana. Yeah, we get into some more stuff there, so that's good. We can get... Yeah, Fated Infatuation and Spell Swindle can go on top. I think we just have to hold up Stubborn Denial and Chaos Warp here. As much as I'd love to get down the Ethereum Sculptor, I think that's what we have to go for. Olivia triggers on the Fairy Rogue entering. They decide to discard Squee. That's a really good interaction. They can do that every single turn if they want to, because at the beginning of their upkeep, they can return Squee to their hand. And Bitter Blossom triggers at the beginning of the upkeep as well, so they can actually get Squee back into the hand, ready to discard to the Bitter Blossom resolving. Our opponent gets down an Urborg, so hopefully we don't see Cabal Coffers. I'm going to just take the damage here, just in case our opponent does something that we want to counter. No, we'll therefore go for a risky Chaos Warp, and Chaos Warp is always risky. We get our opponent into a Sol Ring, so yeah, I don't know if that did pay off for us particularly. I think we have to hold up Spell Swindle here. And then hope that we get into a board wipe at some point. And yeah, our opponent gets the Squee Goblin Nabob back into the hand, as you would expect. If they go for a big spell here, yeah, they're going for Bojuka Bog, exiling our graveyard. We don't care about that. If they go for a big spell, then it just makes our Spell Swindle even better. Yeah, we'll go for our Spell Swindle, get some tokens into play. And we get 3 treasure tokens because Olivia's CMC is 3. It will cost 7 to get Olivia out next turn. That is 2, 4, 6 and 7. So they can afford it. We need to Ethereum Sculptor here. And then I think a Fated Infatuation. I think we'll do it now just to get the scry. We typically don't want to be using our treasure tokens, but yeah, we're nowhere near the Dragon Master Outcast, unfortunately. Why have we not? There we go, Fated Infatuation. Makes a copy of the Ethereum Sculptor and really just clutching at straws here. Wormcoil Engine might help us though. In fact, both of those cards could help. Don't think there's a means. We could use the Mind Stone to draw both of them. Yeah, so we'll go Wormcoil Engine and Mishra's Workshop. A 4 mana Wormcoil Engine is alright in my books. Oh, Liliana of the Veil. I think we just get rid of the Dragon Master Outcast. I don't think we're close enough to that. Each player discards a card. Okay. We'll get rid of the Tempt with Vengeance. I don't think I want to be using that this game because our opponent has enough threats on the board already thanks to Bitter Blossom. Alright, opting not to swing in with everything. That's fine. They're probably worried about a Brudiclad next turn and they might be trying to tick up Liliana of the Veil. Sacking the Mind Stone to draw into Mishra's Workshop. And then that is Wormcoil Engine. And we'll just have to hold up the Stubborn Denial. I imagine our opponent will tick up Liliana before doing anything else. And then we can just swing in haphazardly with Wormcoil Engine. And if our opponent decides to gang up on Wormcoil and kill it, then that's fine, because then we'll have life-linking tokens to take advantage of. Yep, we discard the Stubborn Denial. Now our opponent has free reign. They can get down their commander if they want to. 2 cards left in our opponent's hand. Coming in for 3 on us, and then they've left back 2, 3, 4. They've only left back 5 power so far. They may get down another creature here. Okay, our land for the turn we will play before it gets discarded, and then that switches on Dragon Master Outcast for next turn. I'll make sure to tap the artifact lands first because it's likely that they might get blown up at some point against a red deck. And it will spit out a 2/1 mirror, and then all of our tokens can become a copy of the mirror tokens. And then we will swing in at... We'll swing straight in at our opponent. We're not worried about the Liliana. Actually, we want to hold back these tokens, I think. Yeah, we'll hold back the tokens because if we get a dragon token from the Dragon Master Outcast next turn, then they're all going to be able to become 5/5 flyers. just a chump block from our opponent. Oh, and that's very clever, so we don't gain life from that. And then that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 damage that they've got on us. Yeah, that's very clever. What they did there, for anyone who didn't notice, they chumped with a fairy and then sacrificed it to the Phyrexian Tower so that our Wormcoil Engine didn't get a chance to deal any damage. And because it didn't deal the damage, it didn't get to gain us any life with its lifelink. Very clever play by our opponent. Alright, ticking up Liliana again. And are they online for the limit break next turn? They are. So they can kind of wipe our board. I imagine they just go for that line of play. Yeah, so that they can wipe our board pretty much, or, well, half of it anyway. Demonic Tutor. That doesn't feel good. Yeah, if we lose to a tutor, that always feels bad. It's not over till it's over, but it's been we've been on the back foot most of this game. Zombify returns. Oh, there we go. Cheating out Griselbrand finally. Griselbrand is a completely broken card. 8 mana for a 7/7 with flying and lifelink. Pay 7 life and draw 7 cards. And they have held up the Phyrexian Tower again. Back up to 8 cards immediately. Alright, let's see if we can get anything off the top. Our Dragon Master Outcast triggers immediately. And we just get into Izzet Signet. Yeah, well, we just have to go for a Hail Mary. We'll make all of our tokens into copies of the dragon. And then we will swing in at our opponent with... Well, we can't go wide on our opponent, can we? We could try pressuring the Liliana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can get damage onto our opponent's Liliana to keep them from getting off that limit break. I imagine our opponent's gotten into an answer with Griselbrand. And then I imagine also that they will block the Fairy Rogue with the Phyrexian Tower little combination that they've got going on. So that our Wormcoil Engine can't deal any damage. They will gain 7 life from Griselbrand here as well, so that's just a free 7 cards effectively. They decided to just let Liliana go, so that, I mean, we're only at 10 life, so they don't really need to worry. Maybe they're worried about what we have in hand. And then they do not forget to sack the Fairy Rogue, so that we don't gain any life with the Wormcoil Engine. And now all our opponent has to do is swing in next turn for the win. There we go, we'll just get down Brudiclad, we'll show our opponent that we don't have anything, and then we will give them all the opportunity to swing in. But if they dirtle around, then we will do our usual and just concede straight away. Yep, they're going straight into combat. And all they have to do here... Yeah, if you didn't know that Bitter Blossom was a good card, there you go. I don't know if our opponent could have done anywhere near as well without Bitter Blossom in the early game. Well, there's not a whole lot that an Izzet deck can do against enchantments. And yeah, they got off to a good start on us there, so good game to our opponent. That was Olivia Mobilized for War against Brudiclad Telchor Engineer. Hope you all enjoyed that. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel, and I will see you all in the next one.